Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Together we'll chant Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, verses 11 to 20.
Adityanamaham Vishnuhu Jyotisham Raviram Shuman Marichirmarutamasmi Nakshatranamaham Shashi Vedanam Samavedosmi Devanamasmi Vasavaha Indriyanam Manaschasmi Bhutanam-asmi Chetana Rudranam Shankarashchasmi Vriktesho Yaksha-rakshasam Vasunam Pavakaschasmi Merushikharinamaham Purodhasam cha mukhyam mam Vidhi partha brihaspatim Senaninamaham skandaha Sarasamasmi sagaraha Maharshinam bhriguraham Giramasmyekamaksharam Yajnanam japayajñosmi Stavaranam Himalayah Ashvattha अथः सर्ववृक्षाणां देवर्षीणां च नारदः गन्धर्वाणां चित्ररथः सिद्धानां कपिलो मुनिः उच्चैश्रवसमश्वानां विद्धि माममृतोद्भवम् ऐरावतं गजेन्द्राणां नराणां च नराधिपम् आयुधानामहं वज्रम् धेनूनामस्मि कामधुक् प्रजनश्चास्मि कन्दर्पः सर्पाणामस्मि वासुकिः अनन्तश्चास्मि नागानां वरुणो यादसामहम् पितॄणामर्यमा चास्मि यमः संयमतामहम् प्रह्लादश्चास्मि दैत्यानां कालः कलयतामहम् मृगाणां च मृगेन्द्रोऽहम् वैनतेयश्च पक्षिणाम्
Any questions on what we have done so far? We have been studying how the Lord is the essence of everything. Wherever you go, whatever you do, we have to learn to see that reality, see that truth, perceive that reality. And we can perceive it only in the calmness of our minds. If we are all rushing here and there and this and that, it's very easy to forget. So that is why, in fact, we have a little bhajan before class, so that we can just come and sit quietly for a little while. And the tendency of people is to say, okay, class is going on, video is off, now I'm free to do whatever I want. I mean, yes and no, you can take your freedom away. But the thing is, how much are we able to stay in the present for at least the 1 hour that we are here? How do we attune ourselves to the Lord if the mind is never available for anything? So this is a commitment we have to make to ourselves. While the class is on, at least we should do this all the time. No multitasking, no doing 25 things at one time. Just be with what we are doing. And that is worship, he says. It's just worship. Just to be in that particular moment, whatever you are doing. The mind's training is what this knowledge is about. How will the mind be trained if we allow it to go all over? So as the mind stays in one place, you will find a huge calmness descending on the mind. The agitation of the mind is running here, then allow it to settle in one place. Instant peace. Just allow it to settle in one place. See the difference in quality of life. And then when you allow it to settle in one place, because all of us in this class at least, we are coming to class, we are by nature contemplative. Otherwise you would not come to this class. There's nothing happening here, no song and dance is going on here. There's no entertainment for you. Then why do you choose to come here? Because there's something in us, all of us, that is contemplative. Allow the mind to rest and you'll be naturally contemplative. Because you are that. It's not like it's to come from somewhere else. You are naturally that. And When you become contemplative, you start seeing the facts of life. And the ultimate fact of life is that only God exists. Go to any religion, they will tell you that. But this is beyond our comprehension. To allow this to happen, the mind must settle down. Total focus on whatever we are currently doing. So, what is the text talking about now in verse 29, which we did last time? I am Ananta of Nagas. Nagas are the many-headed snakes. They are different from Vasuki. Remember Vasuki? Different from Vasuki. Vasuki was single-headed snake. He was of those snakes. We did Vasuki, didn't we? He was the snake with which they churned the ocean. So Ananta is another type of snake. You have heard of Ananta before. Have you heard of Ananta? Where have you heard of Ananta? Come on, you all know Ananta. You've seen his picture hundreds of times.
Vishnu.
Yes, Vishnu lies on Ananta. Remember Sri Rabdi Shayana, on that milky ocean, Vishnu lies, and then there is Ananta. He lies on the snake, and the hoods of the snake are turned inward. That Ananta. That Ananta is what he's referring. You've seen, no, that Murti of Vishnu with lying on the snake with many heads. That's the Ananta he's speaking of. So of all the Nagas, I'm Ananta. I mean, he must be the highest, right? Vishnu lies there. So obviously, it's the best of the many-headed snakes. Now, what is this many-headed snakes? Do many-headed snakes even exist? I don't know. If there exists any such thing in this world. Then what is the whole point of the many-headed snakes? Exactly what we've been talking about now. Our mind is many-headed. Our ego in us is many-headed. It is looking in this direction and that direction and that direction and that direction. When does this many-headed ego of ours find relaxation? When all these heads turn inward and look at Vishnu. Vishnu is lying there in each one of us. And our many heads, our many-headed ego, has to turn its vision from outside to within. And you see Vishnu there. Complete peace, complete beatitude. You say, no, I can't do this. I can't get all the heads of my ego to turn in. You know why? Because we are not Sri Rabdi Shayana. We are not lying in that ocean of milk. What is an ocean of milk? Milk is white. White is traditionally the color of purity. So this ego of ours cannot be introverted unless the mind is
Pure.
pure. The less the purity, the more the extroversion. The more the extroversion, the more the agitation. So if you want to become introverted, if you want that agitation to come down, all these heads have to look within. At least try, at least try to be in the moment as much as possible. It's not always possible, but as much as possible, let us try. And when we fail at it, let us know the impurity of our hearts. Unless there's selfishness, unless there's self-centeredness, what is the difficulty in being in the present? Everybody tells you, be in the now. But nobody tells you how to be in the now, Baba. It's okay to say be in the now. Everybody tells everybody else. It's all over the social media also, how important it is to be in the present. And it is a present because it'll give you everything. Okay, please. For those of us who are not able to be in the present, how do we come to the present? That nobody asked this question. You know why nobody asked this question? How to be in the present? Nobody asked this question. You know why? There's actually a fairy tale. Where's Momita? Momita objected, she's in the editing team. So she objected to my saying that. fairy tales. Mills and boons are subtler than fairy tales. He said rubbish, fairy tales are subtler than mills and boons because they have a deep meaning to them. Right, of course, some of them have a deep meaning to them. So, Momita, you're going to like this. But can you tell me which fairy tale I am currently referring to? Anyone?
No, I can't think of any.
Why is it that nobody asks this question? How do I stay in the present? What is the use of telling me all the advantages of staying in the present if you cannot tell me how to be in the present?
Alice in Wonderland.
Why Alice in Wonderland?
I just thought that, she falls asleep and then she goes down to the hole and then she loses all connection with the present. And
Well, we are saying, the question I'm asking is, let's go back a bit, rewind. If everyone tells us to be in the present, everyone tells us the advantages of being in the present also. Nobody tells us how to be in the present, or why is it not possible for us to be, not how to be in the present, but why is it not possible for us to be in the present? We're not able to do it. If we are able to do it, we'll be enlightened souls.
Emperor without clothes.
Fantastic. Varsha, you are a star. Can't we give stars to people in the class? Be so nice. You are a star, Varsha, because it shows a comprehension. If you can answer questions like this, it shows good comprehension. Thank you very much, Varsha. It is in the hope of moments such as this that a teacher takes a class, that people can go beyond. Fantastic. Wonderful. Big star for Varsha. I don't know how to give you a big star, but you are a big star. So now, you know why people don't ask? Now, can anyone answer the question? Now that Varsha has told us which fairy tale, can you answer the question? Why not? Why don't we ask the question? Because none of us want to look like we don't stay in the present. We want to all look like as if we all stay in the present. Okay, we do this, we do this. No, we don't. To do it is a great ability. It is the ability of enlightenment. We don't stay in the present, but we do. Breathe, breathe. Breathe, breathe, say nahi hoga baba. You'll get it for 2 seconds, it'll be gone again. There is only one way for that many-headed snake to look inward. And that will happen only if
Mind is pure.
mind is pure. Only Varsha is listening in the class today. I don't know, where is everybody else? Sab so gaye kya? Too boring today's classes. Pritima, which fairy tale? Oh, Pritima, are you new to the class? I can't remember this name. Are you related to Pritima?
I am, yeah. I'm a sister. So this is the first class I'm attending. After a very, very long time, many, many years back, I heard you.
Oh, okay,
And
Pritima.
GK2, yeah.
I thought you sounded like Nitima. Where is Nitima? I haven't seen her for a long time also.
Well, I think she does attend. That's what she said.
Okay, but I haven't seen, very few people switch on the video, so I don't know who's there. Anyway, welcome to the class. Oh,
Thank you so much.
Here you are. Hari Om. Nitima has been studying for thousands of years, since my Delhi times. I think
Right.
Delhi
That's
are
right.
more in the class than the Mumbai people. Delhi remembers me a lot. I think I should go back to Delhi.
You were in GK2. I was in Alaknanda at that time. We had invited you. Yeah.
Okay. So, Pratima, which story are we talking about? We are talking about that story where a tailor gets in touch with the emperor and says, I will make you the best possible clothes, the most wonderful clothes. And these clothes will be so wonderful, they have magical quality. they can be seen only by who?
Good people, pure people.
People pure, never told a lie. It can be only seen by such people. So then the emperor sets out, and everybody in the street says, wow, what wonderful clothes, what wonderful clothes, wonderful clothes. And only one child over there says, what wonderful clothes. Why has the emperor not worn any clothes? Why has he come nangu pangu on the street? So the idea is only that child could state, I cannot see these clothes. Now, the thing is, none of the others said that they can't see it. And the emperor has paid a fortune to wear these magical clothes. सब हमको ऐसे ही गधे बना देते हैं, because we are not willing to admit कि no भाई, ये तो मुझे दिख नहीं रहा है. I cannot see what you're saying. We all claim to see these wonderful clothes. Only a child says, sorry, I can't see. What? Why is he going like this on the streets? I'm not allowed to go nangu pangu. Why is he allowed to go nangu pangu like this? So it is what happens to us on the spiritual path. We are unwilling to admit that we are less than perfect. I mean, we pay lip service, we say all that. But even when we say, I'm so bad, it's because mentally I'm telling myself, see, I'm so humble, so I say I am so bad. At every stage in the journey, we are unwilling to admit to anything. Therefore, we stay where we are. So nobody asked this question. How do I stay in the present? Or why is it that I'm not able to stay in the present? But now this class knows why we are not able to stay in the present. Why are we not able to stay in the present?
Mind is not pure.
Mind is not pure. Very good. 9. Chalo. 2 people are listening to me in class today. Very good. When the mind is not pure, how can it stay in the present? It cannot. We will call it beautiful names. I'm multitasking. I'm this and that. Mind is not pure. Let the mind just settle down. Even in class, we don't want to do it. That's why you should be writing notes in class. You should be writing notes in class because the mind will not stay there. Suddenly a phone will come. Now I can tell what Naim is doing. I can tell what Noshir is doing. I can't tell what y'all are doing. Put on your videos, but then Mahesh will stop us. So if you put on your video, the advantage is that we are all afraid of reputation, right? The mind is afraid of reputation. So when you put on your video, you don't want to do anything that can be called up. So therefore, your mind will stay in place because we don't want its reputation. But the thing is, can we use all this nonsense that our mind has to take us in the right direction? Our mind has lots of nonsense. But the good thing is, we can actually use all this. We don't have to be frightened of it. We can use it. Oh, my mind is into reputation. Then let me use reputation to do what I have to do. Whatever your mind is into, use it for your personal growth. Impure mind implies desire within one, right? Yes, it implies desire within. It implies also, technically speaking, actually, just because you're desire ridden doesn't have to be impure as well. It is a high probability that if you have a lot of desires, you will be impure. But if you had a lot of desires and you were able to govern, moderate, channelize your desire, you would still be pure, relatively pure, compared to that level of desires. So purity of mind is that unselfishness, that virtue. Like for instance, just now what we spoke of, right? Mind wants reputation. So to make sure that it stays in the present in the class, you can put your video on. And then the mind is frightened of doing anything silly in front of everybody. You know, Bharat knows some people put on their videos and do the strangest things. Then he, poor fellow, is running and switching off people's videos, preventing us from seeing anything that we ought not to be seeing. Now, but the thing is, if you consciously put on your video, you're using that negativity of the mind for a positive purpose. So you're making yourself pure. So yes, you're right. A lot of desires, but real impurity is a lot of desires and totally uncontrolled. Because even if you had lot of desires, but you were able to moderate them, regulate them, channelize them, you still would not be so impure. Impurity of mind is inversely proportional to desires. Impurity of mind is inversely proportional to desires. No, ulta, Rajneesh.
Purity of mind.
Yes, but it should be inversely proportional to desires and their control. If you are able to maintain some kind of control, you will not become as impure as you would have been had you not controlled it. Suppose you have a desire for money and you're totally out of control, then you will go into criminal activity. But if you are in control, then you can still have a desire for money and control it properly, right? Direct it, moderate it properly. So it is desire as well as control. So, Ananta of Nagas. Ananta of Nagas means amongst egoistical people, I am that ego which has turned within and seen the self. So that must be the highest ego, right? So what is the highest use you can put your own ego to? To turn within and see the self. And that ego is the highest ego, the best ego. Realized soul. Since there is a personality, there's an ego, right? So that's the best soul. I'm Varuna of water beings. Water beings are aquatic creatures, beings that stay in the sea. Now, traditionally, Varuna, there was a time historically where the Vedas were the most important texts for Indian society. Over a period of time, the Vedas sort of lost a little bit of their significance, or I can't say they lost their significance. They became less fashionable, let's say. And what became more fashionable were the Puranas. So in Indian society, you see some sort of great divide. I don't know if I'm using the right words really. A sort of change from the Vedic gods to the Puranic gods. And most of the gods who we worship today are from the Puranas and not so much from the Vedas. There is no mention of like a Ganesha or something like that in the Vedas. The Vedic gods were quite different. The Vedic gods were Agni, Indra, Varuna. There was Usha as the goddess, Ratri. It's almost a different pantheon. There was Rudra, of course, whose later form of Maheshwara is what generally it was worshipped. Vishnu of the Vedas is quite different from the Vishnu we speak of now. So historically there has been, because this culture is so old, see, Greek gods at that time, okay, the pantheon of the Greek gods, they actually simply died out, no? And they were replaced with Orthodox Christians. So in all other cultures, what has happened is a previous culture was sort of removed and a new culture came. But in India, we've been largely protected of this. So the old culture continues, the new culture continues, and India adopts everybody and everything. Christ is included in the Dasha Avatar, all this kind of thing India does. Buddha is included, Sabhi. Rajneesh has this very famous, very funny thing he said once. He said, Indians are very subtle. We don't convert anybody. What we do is we convert the prophet. We say, oh, you're Christian? Christ is a Vishnu avatar, so you are also part of us. We'll convert the prophet only. We won't go but converting one or two of the people. So the thing is, it's a long flowing culture, right? It's going on and on and on into it. So these old gods, in the old gods was Varuna, big god, frightening god. And he was the ruler of, let's say, law of causation, because he had spies everywhere and they saw what you did. And if you did anything wrong, they would throw the pasha on you, like a lasso on you, and you'd be caught for whatever you did. This great Varuna eventually in Puranic literature became the god of the waters. I don't know why, don't ask me. I haven't studied all of that, but eventually became the god of waters. So at this point, historically, when the Gita is written, he is the lord of the water beings. So you can see the transition, right? Fashions and gods as well. Till 200 years ago, our Ganesha, who's such a big god in Mumbai at the moment, he was hardly there. Today is the biggest god of Mumbai. Changes, everything changes. Of forefathers, I am Aryama. Aryama is the, we have the Shraddha ceremony, what is it for Parsis? What is it that comes just before New Year? What's it called? The days for the departed souls?
Pateti.
No, Pateti is the day of
Shraddh.
Yeah, Shraddh for the Hindus. For Parsis, what is it called? I forgot.
But it is the day of repentance.
Yeah, of repentance, yes. What is the day? What is the, when you go to the Agyari for those and give the vase, what are those days called? What? I can't hear you.
There are 14 actually, not 10. People have cut it short because of convenience.
What is the name of that period?
Muktads.
Muktad, yeah, Muktad. So
it is to
remember
get rid
the
of
day.
your So Gathas are the 5 days where Zarathustra prayed himself. Out of the 14 days, the 5 days are Gathas, which Zarathustra is supposed to have prayed it himself.
Okay. So that is the Muktad. It just comes just before New Year. And after Muktad comes the Pateti, which is the day where you do some introspection, find out what all you have done in this world. And then hopefully you cleanse yourself and you do whatever repentance you have to do. And then you have New Year where you're bright and clean and fresh again. So a similar idea is there in the Hindu traditions, which is the Shraddha. Is there something like Shraddha in Muslims also? Nine?
What is Shraddha?
Shraddha is the days of remembrance of the dead.
There's a certain sect of Muslims who do that on the 11th of the month. Their ancestors, they remember them and they make very good food and all that stuff.
Okay, Indians are well known for this. It works only if there is food, otherwise nothing is going to work in this country. So everybody has some kind of ceremony, which is the remembrance of those who have been here before us. It is our way of remembering them. It's our way of gratitude towards them, because had they not done what they did, we could not do what we are doing. So these forefathers of all of us are represented to have a head of them. That head of those forefathers is called Aryama. He is their leader or their head. One day he'll be our leader also, because we will also go to his kingdom. So he, amongst all forefathers, he is the best, obviously. He's the leader. I am Yama of controllers. What is this? Is Lord Ganesh popular because it fits our desires of plenty? Or any god at any point popular has to be a wish fulfilling god. Why is Mount Mary so famous? Why are the dargahs famous? Everyone goes to the dargah, put chadar. For what purpose are you putting that chadar? Everybody goes to God with the intention of fulfilling some desire. And if some god is picturized as doing this, then that god will become very famous. Vedanta says eradication of desires. So then nobody wants to come here, Baba. Inko chhod do. These are no good people. They don't know eradication of desire is the way of fulfillment of desire. I think we should also say fulfillment, no? But then they'll get tricked and they'll come and study. So, Aryama of forefathers, Yama of controllers. Yama, you know, Yama is the great Yamraj, the Lord of Death. He is supposed to be the best of all controllers. Why is he the best of all controllers? Other controllers, we have government, it's trying to control us. We have religion, it's trying to control us. It is parents, they try to control us. We have spouses, they try to control us. We have rules and regulations, they try to control us. We have our own intellect, which tries to control us. So many controllers there in the world. But death is the best controller. Why is death?
He doesn't make a mistake. He doesn't make a mistake. He doesn't spare.
You are so totally within his control that the day he says, you gotta go, buddy, you gotta go. You get no, there's no options here for you. So every other controller you can escape in some way or manner. But Yama, you cannot escape. In fact, because of this quality of Yama, this young boy, Nachiketas, have you heard of Nachiketa? He went to Lord Yama. He said, "Oh Lord Yama, you teach me Brahma Vidya." And Lord Yama said, "Forget it, I don't want to teach you Brahma. Not I don't want to teach you, because not teaching anyone Brahma Vidya is too much trouble, frankly, to tell you the truth. Because kuch to palle padta nahi hai." And then you go on and on, first misunderstand this, then misunderstand this, then misunderstand this. And then slowly, over many years, you make some dent. So teaching Brahma Vidya is the most foolish venture anyone can take up. So Yamraj said, "Nahi Baba." I mean, there's a rather liberal storytelling I'm doing over here. They said, "See, Nachiketa, why do you want Brahma Vidya? Forget Brahma Vidya. I will give you horses and these dancing girls. See, dancing girls, horses. All this wealth I'll give you. All these enjoyments I'll give you. Forget Brahma Vidya." To which Nachiketas gives his very, very famous reply. He says, "These are yours. You keep them." I hope you understand what it means. These are yours. You keep them. Can you imagine if someone is giving you all the wealth of the world? Yamraj is offering him all the wealth of the world. Remember, he's the highest controller. It is yours. You keep it, he says. Understand the significance of that? All that you may acquire, all that you may enjoy, whose is it? It is Yamraj's. Why? Because the day he says, "You come with me," you leave everything and you go. Isn't it? They are all subject to change. No matter what you acquire in this world, no matter how great, how big, how wonderful, it's a Nobel Peace Prize. It is all subject to change. So whose possession is it? It is really the possession of Yamraj, because Yamraj can change anything at any time. Yamraj means death. Death means change. Anything can change at any time. So he says, keep it, it is yours. All that we may have is changes, it is owned by change. You keep it, it's yours. Tavanritya Gita, your dance and song, you keep it. I don't want it. Give me Brahma Vidya. To which you may say, why is Ramraj not teaching him? We are teaching people. Why didn't Yamraj teach him? Because no sensible teacher wants students. Too much work and very little thing to be gained out of it. Gained in the sense, no. Actually educated students to come out of it is very difficult. So all good teachers used to chase the students away. They used to say, Baba, jao yahan se. They used to make it very difficult. Traditionally, you were not even allowed to approach them. Because they said, forget it, we don't want to waste our time. But if you went beyond that exterior hardness that the teacher had, and were able to see that the love of his heart, and that he would really have liked the student, but a student who wants to be a student, not come there to do nakra. If you could see so much, then you would serve that teacher, and the teacher would slowly give that knowledge out. This is how it was done. But those teachers are gone, and those students are gone. Everything is owned by Yamraj. So, of all controllers, I am Yama, because nobody can escape my control. Change is there for everybody, regardless of what they might acquire or not. Okay, verse 29 clear. Any questions on verse 29? Okay, all good. Verse 30. Praladaschasmi daityanam kala kalayatamaham mruganam cha mrugendroham vainateyascha pakshinam praladaschasmi daityanam kala kalayat Prahladaschasmi daityanam. Aham Prahlada asmi daityanam. Daityanam of the Daitya. Okay, so there are the Devas and the Danavas. The Devas are the gods, and the demons. Okay, so the demons, among the demon class, the Daitya. It's very interesting that there are Pandavas and Kauravas in Mahabharata, right? The Pandavas are these good guys, and the Kauravas are the bad guys. So we have the good guys and the bad guys. But very interestingly, they're shown as cousins. Now, in this Puranic literature, the Devas and the Danavas, the Devas and the Daityas, you notice the name is similar, no? You know why it's similar? Because they're shown as stepbrothers. There is a sage. He has two wives. Okay, one is a good wife, who is a devoted wife to the sage. She gives birth to the Devas. And the other wife, she's not a bad wife, but she comes to the sage with lust, and she gives birth to the demons. So even in this case, they are stepbrothers, the gods and the demons. it's a very interesting construct that the good and the bad are always shown related to each other. Philosophically, very interesting, no? When the good and the bad are both related to each other. What is that relationship? It is what happens within me. They are brothers. They're stepbrothers, cousins, whatever. They're all part of my own heart. So that way, there was not a very distinct difference made between the two sides. They were shown to always be of the same family. Isn't that an interesting construct? It's not like there are some bad people there and then we are all the good people. No, they are our brothers, very much our own brothers. And if we're able to see things like that, it's a different way of looking at things. So among the Daityas, among the demons, I am Prahlad. I think everybody knows the story of Prahlad, right? Let's see, is there anybody non-Indian over here? Because now that we are international, we have to be careful. Nobody, right? Everybody knows the story of Prahlad. Prahlad's story is that he's born to this demon, Hiranyakashipu, and he loves Vishnu, and he's a great bhakta of Vishnu. He's a small child who's a great bhakta of Vishnu. You know, in the scriptures, I don't know if you have noticed, they have shown us many, many bhaktas of Vishnu. Many, many stories of the bhaktas of Vishnu. Vishnu means all-pervading. The word means all-pervading, but it refers to God. So, so many bhaktas are shown. Some are children, some are men, some are women, some are Brahmins, some are lower caste, some are criminals, some are butchers. I don't know if you get the significance of that. Every story of a bhakta of Vishnu has a different socio-economic chronological status. So what do you learn from that?
Anyone can evolve.
Yeah. There are no rules about this thing. There's no, only Brahmins will be spiritually developed people, or only gods will be spiritually developed people, or only children, or only women, or only nothing. There's a story across every gender, every age group, every economic, social strata. And it's a very interesting thing to see. All this is just by the way, because so many people criticize it for so many reasons. And it's very sad that we miss the point. So Prahlada is a small boy. He's a small boy and he's the son of a demon, which means he's a demon, right? But he's a great devotee of Vishnu. And he tells his father says, I am the highest Lord. He says, no, Vishnu is the highest Lord. Father is very angry with him. And though he tries to send him to the demon Gurukul and educate him and everything, Prahlad never loses track of the fact that Vishnu is the highest God. There is a God beyond all of this that we can see. And finally, the father is very fed up with him and he demands his execution. So he uses, so every method of execution fails. They throw him from the mountain, it fails. The holy, his Bua sits with him in the fire in the hope of burning him. That's the holy we celebrate. But the demoness dies, Prahlad is saved. No matter what happens, Prahlad is saved. And then in the end, his father is very angry. And he says, what is this Vishnu you keep telling me? Where is this Vishnu? I haven't seen her. says, Vishnu is everywhere. And he says, Prahlad says, Vishnu is everywhere. And then his father, Hiranyakashipu, the demon, says, what do you mean he's everywhere? Is he in this pillar? He says, yes, he's in this pillar. So the story goes, it takes a huge mace and breaks the pillar. And how comes Narasimha, half man, half lion? Vishnu has taken the form of this half man, half lion, because Hiranyakashipu had a boon that he would not be killed by humans, he would not be killed by animals, he would not be killed by day, he would not be killed by night, he would not be killed by any weapon. Hiranyakashipu asked for a boon of immortality. So he did all the tapas and he asked for the boon. And so Brahmadev said, sorry, I am not equipped to give you the boon of immortality. You asked me for something else. So Hiranyakashipu thought he was very smart. He said, okay, then don't give me immortality, give me a boon that I shall not be killed by man, nor animal, nor God. I shall not be killed by day or by night. I shall not be killed on land or on air. I shall not be killed by any earthly or divine weapon. Give me a boon that my death will not be from any of these things. So Brahma said, okay, fine, you get it. So he ordered up one boon and a boon came to him. So then when Vishnu comes out in the form of Narasimha, a half man, half lion, he came to him. And all the god got really frightened and they ran away. Horrible, no? Imagine a big lion coming out like that. Prahlad is standing there, worshipping the Lord. He sees the Lord only, no? He's standing there worshipping the Lord. And that big fellow, he came to Hiranyakashipu and picked him up. And he went and he sat on the, what is it called? You know what is Umbarta? Umbarta.
Door jam.
In the what? I didn't hear you, Varsha. So between two rooms, there's a little strip of wood. So he sat on that.
It's not inside or outside.
Yes, not inside nor outside. So he had all these booms, right?
Chalk hut.
On the chalk hut. He sat over there. And it was twilight. So it was neither day nor a night. It was neither inside nor outside. It wasn't with a weapon because he just tore him apart as a lion with his nails. And thereby, it was not on land or in the air, because Hiranyakashipu was placed on the thighs of Narasimha. So whatever he'd asked for, all his boons came true. But he had to die at the hands of Vishnu. So among those Daityas, all that demon climbing, Vishnu says, I am that little boy Prahlad, that little demon Prahlad, who was able to focus on the one important thing of life to the exclusion of all other things. Isn't it a beautiful story, and how well they have shown that you can have anything in the world. He asked for all the boons to prevent death, but death will find you. You don't have to worry about, oh, I won't die. Suppose we say now, I won't die from heart attack, I won't die from cancer, I won't die from nuclear bomb, I won't die from train accident, car accident. Somehow we'll say all these things even if we cover, and yet death will find us. A horrible death if we have not lived up to being godlike. So I am Prahlad of Daityas. I am time of reckoners. Reckoners means calculators. Time is the basis on which all calculation has to be done. Isn't it? Even if you do an FD, you calculate on time, isn't it? Whatever you do, you have to calculate on time. If you say that, oh, we are going to set up a university, and you have to calculate on time that, okay, in 2020, in 22 this happens, 23 this happens, 24 this happens, 25 that happens, whatever. Every calculation is done in time when you're making out your anything. So time is the basis for everything. So he says, I'm time of reckoners. Of beasts I am the lion, because it's supposed to be the king of the beasts. Why is he king of the beasts? Because all the wildebeests, they have to go together in loads and loads and loads. But the Babbar Sher, he can walk alone. Nobody is doing nothing to him. In other words, it shows self-sufficiency. So beasts, I am the lion. Of birds, Pakshinam, among birds, I am Vainateya. Vainateya means son of Vinita. Now Vinita and Kadru were two wives of a sage. The children of Vinita were these eagles, the birds. And the children of Kadru were the snakes. Now, there's a long and elaborate story about them, but the moral that we need right now is that for whatever reason now, Vinita became a slave to Kadru. And Kadru told Vinita that I will release you from this bondage or slavery to me if you're able to get Amrit from the heavens. So Garuda was meant to go and get Amrit from the heavens. Okay, and of course, it wasn't given to the snake children, obviously, because Indra stole that pot from Garuda. But few drops of that Amrit fell on earth. And those snake children of Kadru, they quickly went on, they went to lick it up quickly. And the story goes, that's why the snakes have got forked tongues, because they were trying to suck up that little Amrit that came from that pot. Anyway, the moral of our story is that Garuda is capable of getting Amrit from the heavens. And Vishnu therefore asked him for a boon, that you be my vehicle. So among all the birds, can you imagine, Vishnu himself asked Garuda to be his vehicle. So amongst all the birds, I am Garuda. It's the white-necked eagle. Now really this whole chapter is just lots of stories. And the thing is, Arjuna already knew all these stories. So he was already inspired by that. So today, you have to learn all the stories and then feel the inspiration. It's just easier to understand God is everywhere. But this is all the stories. Do you know Garuda is the name of what? Is the name of Indonesia's airline. So he's obviously not referring to that. But Indonesia is where Indian gods are all worshipped as heroes. Not as gods, but as heroes. So Garuda is their airline. The maximum outside this country in Indonesia, they're worshipping it. Okay, verse 30 is clear. Any questions on verse 30? All good? Okay, shall we start 31? 3 minutes left. If you have any question, I can take that up because we have 3 minutes left. So why start another verse, right? So if you have a question, I'll take it up. Anyone has a question? General question will also do.
Chankiji, so Nachiketa asked Yama to teach him Brahma Vidya because he wouldn't kill him until he taught him, right?
Yeah. Yes, that would be definitely one way of looking at it. He asked Yama, I mean, going by the story, it makes sense to ask Yama because he is the controller of death. So he will not be dead until he gets this great knowledge. But the story is a long and elaborate story. You have to read Katha Upanishad for it. The story is that his father was doing a yajna, and in the yajna he distributed all the cows, and then one more Brahmin came after the distribution was over and asked for his share, and his father said, I mean, the cows were all over, everything that was to be distributed. You know, during a yajna, distribution of a lot of dhan is done during, but everything they had bought was over. So then Nachiketa asked his father, what are you going to give this Brahmin who has come now? Because you can't say no to anyone who asks, right? And so then that father gave some old cow away. Said, you can't give an old cow. Then the father got very angry and he said, and I'm giving you to death. So that's how Nachiketa went to Yamraj. Because the father got very angry with him and cursed him to go to Yamraj. But yes, in philosophical thing, it's the most intelligent teacher to go to, right? He's controlling change until you've learned this knowledge. Okay, so that's it. I hope you all have joined in for the Bhagavad Gita 20 sessions. And you all will come for the residential program in August and generally take some more interest in self-development. Okay, so
Thank you, Ji. Sorry, just one more point. Those who need any assistance with enrollment for PG20 can get in touch with us.